Hi, good morning everyone, and welcome to another episode of Recession Busting!
As we all know, recession is defined to be a period of 2 quarters of negative GDP growth. Some effects on the people are the rise in unemployment rates and also the lowering in salaries. The Ministry of Manpower reported that the resident unemployment rate in 2009 was a high of 4.9%, the highest in Singapore yet. In 2010, this percentage reduced to 3.1%. This percentage may not shock you, but this would mean that 160,000 Singaporeans were unemployed in 2009. According to singstats.com, salaries of some professionals dropped up to 6.9% in 2009 and 2010. Most professionals suffered a pay cut during the recession. The only 2 professions which did not suffer a pay cut was in the constructing sector and the manufacturing sector. Despite all this, inflation rate was still at 0.6% in 2009. This would mean that a usual professional would feel an inflation rate of 7.2% in 2009. In other words, a $10 meal would now feel like $17.20 to them. Today, we will be talking about food and beverages and how you can save costs during this recession. Referring to the intrinsicvalue.com, an average Singaporean spends around 23% to 36% of their salary on food. During the possibility of a pay cut or loss of job, one should try to cut down this expense as much as possible. However, food is a necessity, and we simply cannot breathe or remain healthy without food. Food is also emotional therapy, hence the term comfort food. Therefore, how do we cut costs during a recession, yet continue to eat healthily and happily?
We believe that there are several recession-busting, cost-saving alternatives when it comes to eating and drinking. Quality is not just found in places of prestige. However, we feel that we shouldn't be on the extreme side of things and go just for cost saving and compromise our comfort level. Hence, we advise everyone to find a balance. This brings us to the comparison between Starbucks coffee and coffee from kopitiams. We interviewed several members of the public for their views on these 2 different types of coffee. Here's what one of them has to say. So how would you rate coffee from the usual coffee?
Well, probably maybe 4 to 5 for coffee instead of Starbucks.
In times of recession, would you still come to Starbucks for coffee?
It's hard to earn money. In times of recession, I will come less to Starbucks, more often to traditional coffee shop. The reason being is traditional coffee gives us the same purpose of it. They're still good.
So, you think it's okay to replace like Starbucks with coffee, especially when the price is really high?
Yes, I think they do serve the same purpose for me.
Based on these interviews, we conclude that there are different tastes or preference. Coffee drinkers at certain dining areas may be more biased towards what they usually drink. However, there are some loyal customers to Starbucks who may not be able to curb their addiction to coffee at Starbucks. And hence we feel that there are several things that they can take note of, like for example signing up for a membership card, or perhaps drinking Starbucks only in schools where they get an additional 10% off for staff and student members. However, we also have interviewees who feel that coffee from kopitiams and hawker centers also provide a good sit and helps in keeping us awake. And it's not just Starbucks that is able to do it. So think about it, 1 cup of Starbucks coffee to 7 cups of coffee at usual kopitiams. Which is more practical? It's your choice.
Moving on from drinks, let's now talk about food. Once again, we beseech you to rethink cost considerations before selecting your next location for your food purchase. Let's take the case of wonton noodles for example. A plate of wonton noodles will cost about $10 in a place like Crystal Jade. But if you were to go to a place like hawker center or coffee shop, it would only cost about $3 on the average. But if you were to think about it and strip it down to the most basic level, what you really want is simply the noodles and the meat. The extra that you are paying for really is the prestige and comfort of the place. And this, in a time of recession, should be the least of your priorities as you seek to make ends meet. We also understand the noble notions of dining together in a dim-sum place. We Singaporeans, having Asian roots, have a slightly more collectivist culture. Many of us appreciate family dining times and the coming together as a community, sharing the same food. Let us consider the case of a family of 4 dining out. A plate of mixed vegetable rice with 2 meat and 2 vegetables costs only about $4. Multiply that by 4 and the total cost for the family meal would be about $16. But if you were to order from a Sika store, similar 4 dishes, enough for the family, that will amount to a total of about $32, and that is almost double the price. By ordering from a mixed vegetable rice store, you spend half the amount and you save more money. What's more, there is more variety on the table and each individual is allowed to order their own dishes. None of them have to compromise their choice of food for the sake of the cravings of another. And what's more, you are still dining together as a family, and the collectivist culture is still very much there.
To sum up everything, a balance ultimately has to be found. Does a prestigious place guarantee a better taste?
No!
Is there any food that provides equal satisfaction and is cheaper in price?
Yes!
We believe that there is definitely an alternative to everything. Prestige is something we can all do without for now. Don't worry, we will be out of recession soon. So go cheap, it'll be worth it.